Things have passed away.
My name is Cathy Belanger. I have been part of Holy Redeemer since 2014 when I moved to Michigan from Pennsylvania. I grew up in a Catholic charismatic community in Pennsylvania with my 2 parents and my 7 siblings. Always part of our family traditions that we would go to adoration on First Fridays and Mass together on Sunday mornings. We would take up an entire pew with all of us. My parents just did a really great job in instilling the faith in me from a very young age and really fostering that personal relationship with Jesus. My husband Matthew and I got married back in May of 2017, and we found out that we were pregnant in August of 2018. I was due in April of 2019, and as I was getting closer to my due date, I went to my doctor and told me that they were going to induce me that day, which was really unexpected because I thought I still had 3 more weeks. So they end up taking me to the hospital, and we end up finding out that the baby is breech. It was something that I really was hoping wouldn't happen because I just wanted to do everything like my mom and my sister had done before me. I ended up going into labor while Simeon was still breech, so that meant that I had to have a cesarean. I turned to Matthew at one point and we were getting ready for the cesarean, and I said, I never took the breathing courses. I don't know how to do this. What am I supposed to do? And he looked at me and he said, yeah, boy. And he's like, that's how you breathe through this. That really helped me, but I was not able to hold my baby right after he was born because of the cesarean, and because he was breech, they had to take him to check on him and make sure he was okay. So I didn't get to do any skin-to-skin contact, which was something that was also really important to me. After I had him, I had a lot of postpartum depression over this not getting to bond with my baby right after he was born and getting that special time and that special moment. And this continued for months and months, and I was silently struggling with this spiritual depression along with a physical postpartum depression. Just of feeling like I missed out, or that I didn't do something right, or I somehow could have done something better and not failed in the way I gave birth. After about, I think it was 6 months or so, I told my husband Matthew that I needed to go see a counselor because I couldn't do this on my own anymore. I needed to turn to someone who could help me outside of the situation because I just needed someone to talk to. The next day I was sitting in my living room, just very overwhelmed with this depression, and I started praying, and Jesus appeared to me in my living room. Just right in front of me. I always tell my husband he looked a lot like the Divine Mercy Jesus, which is an image I'm very familiar with, and it was very comforting to see him standing at like 6 foot tall in front of me, just being Jesus, this person that I'm in a relationship with and I long to be close to. He looked at me and he knew the sorrow in my heart about not being able to hold my son right away when he was born. It's like the middle of September, and he says to me, put on the song, Oh Holy Night. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, it's the middle of September. This is a Christmas song. Why should I be doing this? Jesus turns to me and he says, hold your baby as if you're Mary and she just gave birth and she's holding her newborn baby and she's looking at her new son, and have that experience that you didn't get to have originally. You could have that right now. I sat holding my little boy and I just looked at him, and I pretended it was the first time that we were meeting, and I just had all sorts of emotion, and it was really very wonderful. And right at that time, there's a line in the song Oh Holy Night that says, in his name all oppression shall cease. And so I looked up at Jesus standing in front of me in my living room, and he turned to me and he just said, you don't have to stay here in this anymore. You can come out of this and be healed and be on the other side of this with me. And I kind of didn't believe it in that moment, but I took that leap of faith, and I said to him, okay. I wasn't really sure how that was going to work. I know that postpartum depression is a very real thing. It's a very physical thing, but to me, this felt very spiritual as well. And so I know Jesus can give me healing spiritually. I know he can give me healing physically. So I just took his hand in that moment, and I trusted him, and I just kind of let everything out and cried for a long time and snuggled my baby, and it was just a really powerful healing moment for me. And ever since that moment, I have not had any of that depression. And in his name, all oppression I just look at my little boy and I know that he is safe and he is here, and Jesus had his divine hand on that and kept us both safe through all that time. My encouragement to someone in the same situation or anyone watching this would just be that Jesus is there with you through everything, and his intention is always to heal you, and he is never sitting far off watching you go through a hurt. He is in it, sitting next to you, reaching out his hand, asking you to take it. And sometimes we're so hurt that it's a little hard to see that, but it's this beauty of knowing that we're never alone. It's the trust of knowing that his intention is always to heal, and he is going to come in his perfect divine timing and take your hand and give you the option, because he'll never force you, but he'll give you the option and say, you don't have to stay here in this anymore.